If you're in your 30s and 40s, not a ton has to actually change in terms of your training and your training protocols. However, this one thing absolutely has to change. You have to start making your mobility and your recovery more of a priority. It needs to be equally, if not more important than your actual weight training every single week to continue to build strength, to build muscle, and stay as injury-free as possible into your 30s, 40s, and beyond. If you guys want to see exactly how I balance my weight training, kettlebell training, and mobility training to build and maintain a functionally fit, muscular, and mobile physique, tap the link in the description of this video. So today I'm bringing you guys a 16-minute full body follow along mobility routine that you can do as many times as you'd like throughout your weeks. Simple yet effective routine that's going to deliver really good results. So grab your workout mat and let's dive in.
All right, guys, the only thing you're gonna need for this circuit is going to be something like a foam roller to assist with one of the stretches. But we're going 50 seconds on, 10 seconds off. As soon as we finish that 8th exercise, we're going back to exercise number 1. So we're doing 2 total sets to total a 16-minute mobility session, starting off with a spider lunge stretch with a T-frame. Here we go. So opening up as far back as we can, dropping the forearm as close to the floor as we can. So opening up the hips, groin, some of the adductors in this spider lunge stretch, and then opening up the thoracic spine, the chest, and even the lower back with that T-frame. So the name of the game with this session is just try and open up just a little bit more as we go through each movement. Make sure you guys are breathing and finding good cadence with your breath, which is really important because we need to let our bodies relax, especially for someone who's really tight and lack that mobility like myself. Time, all right, 10 seconds rest, move on to the other side. Spider lunge stretch with the T-frame. Here we go. So you also want to try to keep the straight leg as straight as you can, just to get a stretch through the hip flexor on this side as well. Might feel some pops and some cracks when you open up in that T-frame. That's a good thing as long as there's no pain associated with it. So it shows the body is tight and locked up. It needs to open up. Ten seconds. Let's get one more. There we go. Down dog toe touchers. So stretching out some of the shoulders, work some shoulder stability and mobility, as well as the calves and the hamstrings. So high plank to start, push off the one arm, reach across the body to the opposite toe. Really think about driving your heel to the floor to intensify the stretch through the calf, through the hamstring, all the way up into the glute. Just nice steady cadence. If you guys can't reach all the way to the toe, just reach as far as you can. But like all of our movements, with each rep, try to open up just a little bit more, especially as the body starts to warm up. It'll get a little bit easier to achieve a fuller range of motion. There we go. Child's pose to pigeon coming up. So we're sitting back on the heels. We're coming forward into that pigeon stretch. So sitting back, stretching out the lats and shoulders, some of the lower back. And bring that leg across the body, dropping the chest to stretch out the glute on that bent leg. And feel free to spend time in certain areas where you feel really tight and locked up. Spend a little extra time, let's say maybe in this pigeon stretch if your glutes are really tight. Or even hang out here Doesn't necessarily have to be fast paced. You can kind of customize it to your body and your limitations and where you're really struggling with your mobility. Three, two, one, time. All right, now we grab our foam roller, so assisted Cossack squats. It's a nice wide stance. We're gonna sit off to one side, bringing the toes towards the floor, keeping the legs straight. You're gonna feel a stretch through the adductors, and then going to the other side. So again, utilize your assistance, whether it be the foam roller or whatever you're using, as much as you need to. You can even have it up here. So if you're really tight, have that foam roller up top. Just try and keep your chest up as much as you can. Don't stretch too far beyond your range of motion, right? You gotta listen to your body. Don't pull something here, just nice and easy. Three, two, and one. Lying on our stomachs, prone swimmers. So open up those shoulders. Here we go. So lift up, hands trace all the way around. Come up as far as you can on the back. Oh, and then back to that starting position. So lift up, engaging the lower back and glutes. Trace up the back. Back to that starting position. "20 seconds. "10 seconds. Three, two, and one. Where are we at? Hip to hamstring. So stretching out the hip flexor and then going into the hamstring stretch. So lunging forward, keeping the hips neutral, and then sitting back, straighten the leg out, trying to drop the chest as close to the straight leg as we can. You'll feel that stretch through the hamstring and through the lower back on that same side. Now, if you can't sit back and drop your hands to the floor, even just come in here, start off nice and easy, and just working your way to getting your chest as close to the floor as you can, or as close to your leg as you can. "10 seconds. Now we're moving on to the other side. 3, 2, 1, other side. So hips neutral, then lean as far forward as you can. So don't go like this, leaning forward. Hips neutral, lean forward, then sit back. You guys can even add in an overhead reach if you want. I'll intensify the hip flexor stretch on this side a little bit. But still keep those hips neutral. Let's get one more. And we're going back to the top. So back to exercise number 1. Go one more time through. That's my mic here. All right, spider lunge stretch. Left leg up. Opening up as much as possible. So hopefully by now, we're doing a little bit better than that first set. Trying to sink a little bit lower. Get that forearm a little bit closer to the floor. Hopefully we're opening up a little bit further back in that T-frame. 10 seconds. Three, two, one. There it is. Other side. Here we go. Right leg up. Posting on that left arm. Drop that forearm. And open up. You guys can also modify a little bit by placing that straight leg on the ground. So it won't be quite as strenuous. However, I like just adding in a little extra challenge just to raise that body temperature up just a little bit more. Ten seconds. There we go. Down dog toe touchers. Reaching for that opposite toe, coming back to a strong plank. So don't let your hips sag here in this plank. Strong plank, tuck those abs in, engage the glutes. So we're working some shoulder stability as well. So a little bit of mobility as we go into this down dog, this single arm down dog, but also just supporting our body weight. It's gonna help build a little stability as well. Almost there. 5 seconds. Let's get one more. There we go. Child's pose to pigeon. So ideally we're getting our leg perpendicular with our body. Easier said than done. So my mobility isn't terrible, but it's also not high level by any means. So it's hard for me to get completely across, but that's what we're trying to aim for. So do your best. If you can't, just do what you can, what your body allows for right now. I'm gonna try and drop that chest to the floor as well to intensify the stretch through the glute. 10 seconds. Three, two, and one. Assisted Cossacks. Good pop in the hip there. You hear that? So I'm getting a little bit lower here. Opening up just a little bit. Keep your chest up as much as you can. Twenty seconds. You can also play around having your foot flat as well. It'll be a little bit more specific to the adductor, but it might limit your range of motion just a little bit. So play around. All right. Prone swimmers. Lying on the stomach. Lift up and off. Get up that back as far as you can. And back to that starting position. This is a tough one for me. My shoulders are super tight. My lats, my triceps, everything. So, tough one, but a good one. You also get a little accessory work in as well. So hitting that lower back as we kind of lift off into that Superman A little bit of glutes as well. Let's get one more. 3, 2, 1. All right, hip to hamstring, so left leg in front. Remember, keep the hips neutral. And then lean forward. Toe up on the back leg. So this is one you guys can do often, right? You can do this 2, 3, 4 times a week. There's not really too much of a limit in terms of how many times a week. Obviously what you have time for, it's not too long. However, I know everyone's living a busy life, man, so sometimes it can feel a little daunting to try and do something like this every single day. So just do what you can. Do it as many times as you can. You can do it before a workout, post-workout. You could do it on an active recovery day. So there's no right or wrong, but just get it in. Just get it in. As I said in the intro, I mean, not a ton has to change in terms of our actual training in our 30s and 40s, but man, we have to make our mobility and our recovery more of a priority if we're going to stay in the game and continue to build muscle, build strength, and see great results and stay injury-free and just not be in pain. So be more disciplined and build this in. Let's get one more, sitting back, and time.